of the hills that we have. So most of the time in this neighborhood, the wind is coming from the north and going south. Sometimes it goes in the opposite direction, but it follows natural canyon here to the left, to the west as well. So we got to think about those consequences and look more at a coherent, cumulative environmental impact analysis that needs to be done. This is a very, very rough estimate. So Saugerties 9, Manor Road 18, 7, Abbots Court, and so forth. Estimated total 163. I didn't really count a lot of places on Route 212. There were way too many.
North Street will be a much higher population because you have that whole condo development over there as well.
Yeah. But you know, here I have a 561 residents. I could be off, but that's a significant population. Mostly if you happen to be counted in there. Okay, NIMBY, do you know what it stands for?
Yes,
Okay.
in my backyard.
Very good. It is a bad idea to locate a facility with large quantities of hazardous substances near a residential neighborhood. It is a bad idea to place containers next to each other when they contain hazardous substances which can propagate fire from one container to the next. Training of the volunteer Cedar Grove Fire Department is not enough. There is a fire department mutual aid from towns that are neighbors to Saugerties. They also need to be trained and provided with equipment. We may need to talk about having a few of those moon suits that you see in movies. Whenever you have two guys in a moon suit, two different moon suits, you need to have two helpers to get them in the suit, and you need 4 people for decontamination after. That's probably pretty much a lot of the volunteers at any time point. So if you have a fire or a situation with fire, gases, explosion for 3 weeks like they had in Warwick, there's a pickle here. Residents must be informed, let's say those within at least half a mile, whether they are going to be told to evacuate or shelter in place, and what exactly it means. Evacuate, you get on your car as fast as you can with your family and your pets. Shelter in place, you close all your windows and you turn off the AC and fans. Okay, technology, we talked a little bit about that, but it's a new technology that will be obsolete in a few years. How many years, I cannot tell you that. We'll see something else on the next slide. There should be no toxic fumes and smoke particulates in the air we breathe. If there is an incident, we will clean it up, and of course, we will pay for the cleanup. I'm not answering that question. Alternatives. There are iron batteries for storage similar to the lithium, but they are being used and developed here in the USA, and NYSERDA may have tested them. They do exist. Iron is a metal that is very common. You know, they make the material for cans of food with it. It should be relatively safe. Sodium-ion batteries, they are being developed and used in Germany, and China now is also developing them. And I read yesterday that they were making them so that they can be used in cars to replace the lithium batteries that they are using right now. Delaying decisions may be a good idea when alternative solutions are available. Reducing electricity usage when possible, that's something that we should all do. And renewable sources of energy were not a bad idea when some folks were talking about. Resources, I have mentioned the New Jersey Department of Health as a substance fact sheets. Google that name and you will be rewarded. That's the last slide, okay? I can go. Thank you. The Ulster County Parcel Viewer, that's available through the internet. It's information that I showed, where are the outer boundary of a property and the size of the property. Something that is more difficult to get access to is the Ulster County GIS. You can download some file, but you need some expertise and you need a software. I do recommend the QGIS, which is free. You have EPA, DEC, and something for firefighters, Cameo, which is a database of hazardous substances, MarkWatch to map sites, and LOA, which lets you model plumes. Knowing where the wind is blowing from and going to, you can see who is going to be affected. It's going to draw kind of a drop of water.
Great.
And that's it.
Thank you so much. All right.
That's the end of our presentation for tonight. Yes. And we have 2 more sections of the meeting. The next is, and we'd like people, if you'd like to speak, either to ask a question or make a comment, please say your name. And we'd like to ask that everybody listen and not interrupt people, and then people not do run-on comments and questions, but be as succinct as you can. And I'd like people to use the microphone, so if you don't, I can bring it to you, or you can come up and get it. And then you can ask Eve a question or any general questions. If we can't answer them, we'll make a note of it and write your name down and get back to you. Sir?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Harry Vanetten. I live here in Sorges in the village area. Actually, I'm pretty close parameter to that proposed site. I'm just on the east side of the railroad tracks, right next to Sawyer Motors on North Street. So I'm one of the list of endangered species that you showed in that radii. So, but also just to bring to your attention about the lithium problem is also, as far as the vulnerability of fire and explosion to be concerned about, you might want to consider that there's a huge bulk propane filling station right on the railroad tracks, just on the east side of the railroad. Was one across from on the west side, but I don't think it functions anymore. And this gentleman lives right there, so he's right. He could throw a stone and hit the propane fill station. So they're the dangerous elements that haven't been brought up. But these things are tentatively important. And the other thing is, they're telling us what a benefit this would be for shortage of power and this and that. Believe me, brethren and sisters, we're not going to benefit anything from this power-wise whatsoever. Whatever minimal amount they get from their shenanigans will go to New York City. We will not benefit one thing up here. We'll be left with the mess if anything happens, and it'll be a foreign people who develop and produce these things in another land, and they have no liabilities here. They just go their merry way, and we're going to be left to clean this up or whatever as a community. So I don't know what your feelings are for the town board, but I know they have their views. They want to push these things. There's strong Democrat, liberal views, and they're sucked into the green and all this thing, and it's a good to a point, but there's a point comes when it's not effective and it's actually going to endanger us to a point where we're going to suffer from it. somebody else if there's any benefit from it, and he's been explaining that there really isn't, it's old technology. And with that said, we're not gonna get anything out of locally around here except the heartache that causes. So that's my comment, and so much as I have to say, so, thank you very much.
Gaetana Charlante. I just have a factual question. Who owns this land?
Kevin
P, it begins with a P.
Pitcock.
Pitcock. Mr.
family
Pitcock owns the
owns
land and has a contract with KCE. Yeah, we have a document with you. Not from my understanding.
No.
Is this a done deal? Is this a done deal?
What's your name?
Sorry, Richard.
Hi, Richard.
Hi.
Richard's asking if it's a done deal. I think it is, if you don't, and the rest of us don't make sure that it isn't a done deal.
Okay.
That's my opinion, but
Okay.
that's best I can answer that
So
question.
there's opportunity to.
Absolutely, there's an
Absolutely,
opportunity
yes.
to engage, and that's why we're bringing everybody together to engage with a full spectrum of thoughts about this. We don't have all the answers. I feel differently about it than Claudia does. I feel different about it than Lauren does. Feel different than Linda does. We all are coming at this from a different perspective. But this is the very first time we've had an opportunity to talk as a community.
So what is the next opportunity?
We'll get to.
We're going to go to
Richard's
that.
asking next opportunity, we will get to that, promise.
Okay.
I can just talk loud.
Okay.
Eileen Ryan, I live here in Saugerties for the last 2.5 years. I'm concerned about this vested rights. How far along are we on that process where it's out of our hands?
We've had they had the pre-planning meeting where, in my opinion, they prematurely classified it as an unlisted from a secret perspective, and it was premature for them to do that, and they had questions that went back to the applicant the Friday right before the second planning meeting that it turned up in. So it's been through a pre-planning and then one planning committee meeting. And it will be showing up at the next planning committee meeting too. And we're trying to get hold of the information that's being exchanged between the developer and the planning committee, but it's really hard to get this information from the town. So we are trying to figure out how to best do that. It's a very contentious when you ask for information from the town, and it really shouldn't be. This is our information. This is our town. We pay their wages. There's laws about it. So, and we'll have a bit more about that also. That comes down to the foils we're having to do, the open meeting laws that we are saying, where's the visibility? So that vested rights, as of right now, they do not have vested rights. They have not invested enough money to be at the point of vested rights. And if anybody tells you that they are, then that is untrue. Please contact us, because that is something that we absolutely want to watch. Oh,
Yes.
One short question.
Please say.
How much money did Mr. Pitcock get for that land?
We'd like to find out.
he's leasing it. He's not sold it, but we have no way of knowing that.
That's not public information.
So, my name is Cesar Baptista, and they actually came to me with an offer. That's KCE. They reached out to me because I'm a neighbor, like a former neighbor to that property, and they offered me $100,000 a year for 10 years. So that comes out to $1 million. And my parcel is nowhere near as good as Kevin's. So he has to have gotten a better deal than that, so you use that as a baseline, basically.
Thank you. Oh, thank you for answering that question. Yes.
My name's Stephen Schaefer. Did they file an EAF,
Yes,
and they filed it with the planning board,
yes.
and it's been reviewed by the planning board, and
They have EAF Part 1 they submitted, which was incomplete and full of inconsistencies. And now the planning board is looking at going through the EAF 2. That was what was given to them at the last planning board meeting. And now they're starting on in that process.
so we're waiting for the decision from the planning board about the completed EAF.
Correct.
Everybody know what an EAF is? No. It's sort of the first round in which you describe a project, and then a decision is made as to whether it will be type 1, how much, and whether it will go to CEQA. I personally am in favor of the best, but I personally think that taking it through a full CEQA process would be a perfectly good idea. That's what they've done in Ulster, and I think it would satisfy a lot of the worries that we have.
To have a full, a positive secret determination to go through the full.
To go through the whole thing, yes.
Thank you for saying that. That's really a relief for you to say that. Thank you. I think that deserves a round of applause.
Yeah, that's what we all want.
Lady over here, can you kill the mic? It's causing problems, please.
I also will talk loud. My voice travels. My name is Karen. I live in Sardis, although it's actually Lake Katrine. First of all, the first question I have is whatever the owner of this, is he a Sardis resident?
Kingston,
He is. Okay, so he's at least local.
for now.
Whatever, for now. The other thing is, are there any American companies? This company is out of South Korea. Why is the town board or whomever, why are they even friendly towards somebody that's outside of our country?
Good question.
I mean, we talk about accountability, but we only talk about it in the abstract. You know, you can name a bunch of things. Look at what happened in Pennsylvania. Oh yeah, FEMA will come. FEMA doesn't come, right? So when I just look at, part of me is like, I don't understand. First of all, where does even Sardis benefit in any way, shape, or form? Could somebody, I mean, just common sense, where is there any benefit? The other thing that I'm thinking, I just put solar panels on my roof, just as a commentary. Now, we all know that Central Hudson is planning its increases. Electricity is going up. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And with this storage unit, I can't even get a picture in my mind. Is it a container that has so many cells in it? Is that how it works? I didn't see any diagram.
Yeah, check out the lawn sign. It has a.
Yeah, if anybody wants a lawn sign, let us know.
So essentially, these are like storage facilities where people go and rent them for their clothes and crap.
I mean, they're the size of like when you see trucks on tractor trailers. They're like big tractor trailer containers stacked with batteries and tech.
Okay, so we're 4 hours. 4 hours is nothing. And are they tied in with Central Hudson?
They will be.
So Central Hudson is gonna draw that into their grid when they need it. Is that what you're saying?
No. What's going to happen is these battery companies will buy electricity from Central Hudson, take it off the grid, and they'll buy it when it's cheap, and then they will do arbitrage and sell it back when it's high, and it will go back onto the grid, and there will be at least a 20% loss in energy just in that process.
Absolutely. But I don't, so again, it's not.
There's no local benefit.
No, it's not.
Let me
But even
just
Central,
speak to that.
But even Central Hudson, okay, it's not just Central Hudson that's handling, you're having outside entities come in and purchase it to sell it back to us?